Tehran is the capital of Iran and Tehran Province since 1778. With a population of around 8.3 million and surpassing 14 million in the wider metropolitan area, Tehran is Iran's largest city and urban area, and the largest city in Western Asia. In the 20th and 21st centuries, Tehran has been the subject of mass migration of people from all around Iran. The city is home to many historic mosques, churches, synagogues and Zoroastrian fire temples. However, modern structures, notably Azadi Tower and the Milad Tower, have come to symbolize the city. Tehran is ranked 29th in the world by the population of its metropolitan area. Throughout Iran's history, the capital has been moved many times, and Tehran is the 32nd national capital of Iran, although it has been Iran's capital for about 220 years. Although a variety of unofficial languages are spoken, roughly 99% of the population understand and speak Persian. The majority of people in Tehran identify themselves as Persians. In pre-Islamic and early Islamic times, Tehran was an unimportant village and part of the area of present-day Tehran was occupied by Rhaga, now a part of the city of Tehran, which took over its role after the destruction of Rhaga by the Mongols in the early 13th century. History. An important historical city in the area of modern-day Tehran, now absorbed by it, is known as Rhaga, which is etymologically connected to the Old Persian and Avestan ridges. The city was a major area of the Iranian-speaking Medes and Achaemenids. Tehran became the capital of Iran in 1778. In the Zoroastrian Avesta, Videvdad, I. 15, Rhaga is mentioned as the 12th sacred place created by Ahura Mazda. In the Old Persian inscriptions, Rhaga appears as a province. From Rhaga, Darius the Great sent reinforcements to his father Hystaspes, who was putting down the rebellion in Parthia. The Damavand mountain located near the city also appears in the Shahnameh as the place where Phrygon bounds the dragon fiend Zaghak. Damavand is important in Persian mythological and legendary events. Kalmara I, the Zoroastrian prototype of human beings and the first king in the Shahnameh, was said to have resided in Damavand. In these legends, the foundation of the city of Damavand was attributed to him. Arash, the archer who sacrificed his body by giving all his strength to the arrow that demarcated Iran and Turan, shot his arrow from Mount Damavand. This Persian legend was celebrated every year in the Tehran festival. A popular feast is reported to have been held in the city of Damavand on 7 angstroms LYL 1230, or in Gregorian calendar, August 31, 1815. During the alleged feast the people celebrated the anniversary of Zaghak's death. In the Zoroastrian legends, the tyrant Zaghak is to finally be killed by the Iranian hero Gara Infinite SP before the final days. In some Middle Persian texts, Rhaga is given as the birthplace of Zoroaster, although modern historians generally place the birth of Zoroaster in Khorasan. In one Persian tradition, the legendary king Mana was born in Damavand. During the Sassanid era, Yazdegerd III in 641 issued from Rhaga his last appeal to the nation before fleeing to Khorasan. The sanctuary of Bibi-Shah Banu, situated in modern Tehran Spur and accessible only to women, is associated with the memory of the daughter of Yazdegerd who, according to tradition, became the wife of Al-Husayn b. Ali, the third Shiite Imam. Rhaga was the fief of the Parthian Miran family, and Sayyiv-Orksh the son of Miran the son of Bahram Koban resisted the Arab invasion. Because of this resistance, when the Arabs captured Rhaga, they ordered the town to be destroyed and ordered Farrukhzad to rebuild the town. In the 10th century, Rhaga is described in detail in the work of Islamic geographers. Despite the interest of Baghdad displayed in Rhaga, the number of Arabs there was insignificant, and the population consisted of Persians of all classes. The Uzturks laid Rhaga to waste in 1035 and in 1042, but the city recovered during the Seljuk and Khwarezmian era. The Mongols laid Rhaga to complete waste, and according to Islamic historians of the era, virtually all of its inhabitants were massacred. The city is mentioned in later Safavid chronicles as an unimportant city. The origin of the name Tehran is unknown. Tehran was well known as a village in the 9th century, but was less well known than the city of ridges which was flourishing nearby in the early era. Nam al-Din Razi, known as Daya, gives the population of Ray as 500,000 before the Mongol invasion. In the 13th century, following the destruction of Ray by Mongols, many of its inhabitants escaped to Tehran. In some sources of the early era, the city is mentioned as Rajaz's Tehran. The city is later mentioned in Hamdullah Mustafi's Nuzhat el-Kulub as a famous village. There is also a shrine there, dedicated to commemorate Princess Shah Banu, eldest daughter of the last ruler of the Sassanid Empire. She gave birth to Ali Zayn al-Abidin, the fourth holy imam of the Shia faith. This was through her marriage to Husayn ibn Ali, the grandson of Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam. A nearby mountain is also named after her. However, some sources attribute the shrine to the goddess of water and fertility, Anahita, claiming it was renamed in Islamic times to protect it from any possible harm after the conversion of Iranians to Islam. Don Rhaga de Clavijo, a Castilian ambassador, was probably the first European to visit Tehran, stopping in July 1404, while on a journey to Samarkand, the capital of Timur, who ruled Iran at the time. At this time, the city of Tehran was unwalled. In the early 18th century, Karim Khan Zand ordered a palace and a government office to be built in Tehran, possibly to declare the city his capital, but later moved his government to Shiraz. Tehran finally became the capital of Iran in 1795, when the Qajar king Aga Muhammad Khan was crowned in the city. It remains the capital to this day. In the 1920s and 30s, the city essentially was rebuilt from scratch under the rule of the Shah of Iran, Reza Shah Pahlavi. Reza Shah believed that ancient buildings such as large parts of the Golestan Palace, Takya-i-Dawlat, the Tubkeni Square, the city fortifications and the old citadel among others should not be part of a modern city. They were systematically demolished and modern buildings in the pre-Islamic Iranian style, such as the National Bank, the police headquarters, the telegraph office and the military academy were built in their place. The Tehran Bazaar was divided in half and many historic buildings were demolished in order to build wide straight avenues in the capital. Many Persian gardens also fell victim to new construction projects. During World War II, Soviet and British troops entered the city. Tehran was the site of the Tehran Conference in 1943, attended by U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin, and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. In the 1960s and 70s, Tehran was rapidly developing under the reign of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Modern buildings altered the face of Tehran and ambitious projects were envisioned for the following decades. The majority of these projects were continued after the Islamic Revolution of 1979, when Tehran's urbanization had reached its peak, and the new government started many other new projects, such as Milad Tower. During the 1980-88 Iran-Iraq War, Tehran was the target of repeated Scud missile attacks and airstrikes. City development. Up through the 1870s, Tehran consisted of the walled Oeg, the roofed bazaar, and Oeshastani. The first development plan of Tehran in 1855 emphasized the traditional spatial structure. Architecture, however, found an eclectic expression to reflect the new lifestyle. The second major planning exercise in Tehran happened under supervision of Dar al-Funun. The map of 1878 included new city walls, in the form of a perfect octagon with an area of 19 square kilometers, which mimicked the Renaissance cities of Europe. As a response to the growing social consciousness of civil rights, on June 2, 1907, the first parliament of Persian constitutional revolution passed a law on local governance known as Oe Ganuni Belediye. The second and third articles of the law, on Oe Njormani Belediye, or the city council, provide a detailed outline on issues such as the role of the councils in the city, the members' unregistered trademark qualifications, the election process, and the requirements to be entitled to vote. After the First World War, Reza Shah, the founder of the Pahlavi dynasty, immediately suspended the Oe Ganuni Belediye of 1907, and the decentralized and autonomous city councils were replaced by centralist sectoralist approaches of governance and planning. The changes in the urban fabric started with the Street Widening Act of 1933, which served as a framework for changes in all other cities. As a result of this act, the traditional texture of the city was replaced with cruciform intersecting streets, creating large roundabouts, located on the major public spaces such as the Bazaar or the Husseiniya. As an attempt to create a network for the easy movement of goods and vehicles in Tehran, the city walls and gates were demolished in 1937 and replaced by wide streets cutting through the urban fabric. The new city map of Tehran in 1937 was heavily influenced by modernist planning patterns of zoning and gridiron network. The establishment of the Planning Organization of Iran in 1948 resulted in the first socio-economic development plan to cover 1949 to 1955. These plans not only failed to slow the unbalanced growth of Tehran, but with the 1962 land reforms, that Shah called the White Revolution, Tehran's growth was further accentuated. To bring back order to the city and resolve the problem of a Euro, which is the Persian equivalent of marginality, the first comprehensive plan of Tehran was approved in 1968. The consortium of the Iranian consultants Abdulaziz Mtsafaman and the American firm of Victor Gruen Associates identified the city problems to be high density, expansion of new suburbs, air and water pollution, inefficient infrastructure, unemployment, and rural-urban migration. Eventually, the whole plan was marginalized by the 1979 Iranian Revolution and the subsequent Iran-Iraq War. Climate. Tehran features a semi-arid, continental climate. Tehran's climate is largely defined by its geographic location, with the towering Alborz Mountains to its north and the Central Desert to the south. It can be generally described as mild in the spring and autumn, hot and dry in the summer, and cold in the winter. Because the city is large with significant differences in elevation among various districts, the weather is often cooler in the hilly north than in the flat southern part of Tehran. For instance, the 17.3 km Vali-ER street runs from the Tehran's railway station Nan, 1,117 am elevation above sea level, in the south of the city to the Tahrish Square, 1,612 am elevation above sea level, in the north. However, the elevation can even rise up to 1,900 am at the end of the Valyunjak Street in the north of Tehran. Summer is usually hot and dry with very little rain, but relative humidity is generally low and the nights are cool. Most of the light annual precipitation occurs from late autumn to mid-spring, but no one month is particularly wet. The hottest month is July, mean minimum temperature 26 degrees Celsius. Mean maximum temperature 36 degrees Celsius, and the coldest is January, mean minimum temperature 1 degrees Celsius. Mean maximum temperature 8 degrees Celsius. Although Tehran enjoys a more moderate climate than other parts of the country, the weather can sometimes be unpredictably harsh. The record high temperature is 43 degrees Celsius and the record low is 17 degrees Celsius. On January 5 and 6, 2008, after years of relatively little snow, a wave of heavy snow and low temperatures covered the city in a thick layer of snow and ice, forcing the Council of Ministers to officially declare a state of emergency and closing down the capital on January 6 and 7. Tehran has seen an increase in relative humidity and annual precipitation since the beginning of the 21st century. This is most likely because of the afforestation projects, which also include expanding parks and lakes. The northern parts of Tehran are still more lush than the southern parts. Tehran's climate can be described to have some monsoon influences. The summers are very dry, and the spring and fall are rather lush, with the main precipitation occurring at this time. Circumstances: in February 2005, heavy snow covered all of part of the city. Snow depth was 15 cm in south part of the city and 100 cm in the north of city. One newspaper said it had been the worst weather for 34 years. 10,000 bulldozers and 13,000 municipal workers deployed to keep the main roads open. On February 3, 2014, Tehran reached an heavy snowfall specifically in the northern parts of the city along with an height of 2 meters. Within the 1 week successive snowfall, roads have been made impassable in some areas in north of Tehran, along with a temperature variety of -8°C to -16°C. On June 3, 2014, a powerful thunderstorm and hurricane created a sandstorm in the city. About 5 persons were killed and more than 57 injured. This disaster also knocked numerous trees and power lines down. It struck between 5 and 6 p.m., sending temperatures from 33°C to 19°C in just an hour. Along with a dramatic temperature drop, wind gusts reached nearly 118 km per hour. Demographics. The city of Tehran had a population of approximately 7.8 million in 2006. With its cosmopolitan atmosphere, Tehran is home to diverse ethnic and linguistic groups from all over the country. The native language of the city is the Tehrani accent of Persian, and the majority of people in Tehran identify themselves as Persian. However, historically, the original native dialect of the Turani-Ure region is not Persian, which is linguistically Southwest Iranian and originates in Fars in the south of the country, but a Northwest Iranian dialect belonging to the Central Iran group, and Azerbaijan is about 25% to 1/3, and other ethnic minority groups included Jews and more. According to a 2010 census conducted by the Sociology Department of Tehran University, in many districts of Tehran across various socio-economic classes in proportion to population sizes of each district and socio-economic class, 63% of people in Tehran were born in Tehran, 98% know Persian, 75% identify themselves as ethnic Persian, and 13% have some degree of proficiency in a European language. Tehran saw a drastic change in its ethno-social composition in the early 1980s. After the political, social and economic consequences of the Islamic Revolution of Iran in 1979 and the years that followed, some Iranian citizens, mostly Iranis, left Iran due to mounting political, social and religious pressure. Many Iranians moved to countries such as Canada, the United States, France, Sweden and other European countries. The highest Iranian emigration has been to the United States, France, Germany, Sweden and Canada. With the start of the Iran-Iraq War following an Iraqi invasion, a second wave of inhabitants fled the city, especially during Iraqi air offensive on the capital. With most major powers backing Iraq at that time, economic isolation caused even more reasons for the inhabitants to leave the city. Having left all they had and having struggled to adapt to a new country and build a life, most of them never came back when the war was over. During the war, Tehran also received a great number of migrants from the west and the southwest of the country bordering Iraq. The unstable situation and the war in neighboring Afghanistan and Iraq prompted a rush of refugees into the country who came in millions, with Tehran being a magnet for modest workers who helped the city to recover from war wounds, charging far less than local construction workers. Many of these refugees are being repatriated with the assistance of UNHCR, but there are still sizable groups of Afghan and Iraqi refugees in Tehran who are reluctant to leave, being pessimistic about the situation in their respective country of origin. Afghan refugees are mostly Persian-speaking Hazara or Tajiks, speaking a dialect of Persian, and Iraqi refugees, who are mainly Shia Muslim Mesopotamian Arabic speakers often of Iranian origin. The majority of Iranis are followers of 12th Shia Islam, which is also the state religion. Religious minorities include followers of various sects of Sunni Islam, Mystic Islam, Christianity, Armenian Evangelical Church, and the Presbyterian Church, Zoroastrianism, Judaism, and some from the Bahá'í faith. Tehran also has very small number of third-generation Iranian Sikh community that is a Gurudwara visited by Indian Prime Minister in 2012. Capital relocation. A plan to move the capital has been discussed many times in prior years. In 2010, the government of Iran announced that for security and administrative reasons the plan to move the capital from Tehran has been finalized. The merely named Shahroud, Esfahan and Semnan as three of main candidates to replace Tehran as the capital. There are plans to relocate 163 state firms to the provinces and several universities from Tehran to avoid damages from a potential earthquake. President Ahmadinejad suggested that 5 million residents should migrate out of Tehran. As a starting point, Iranian authorities are relocating all defense-related industries out of the capital. Location and subdivisions. Tehran County borders Shemiranat County to the north, Damavand County to the east, Islamshah, Porkdasht, and Ray counties to the south, and Karaj and Sharia counties to the west. Neighborhoods and districts of Tehran. The city of Tehran is divided into 22 municipal districts, each with its own administrative centers. Within these 22 districts, Tehran contains the following major neighborhoods: Abbasabad, Afsari, Amaniye, Amirabad, Ayasha, Bafez, Bahirstan, Daraki, Darband, Dardasht, Darabad, Daras, Tkadiolampik, Ikhtiyari, Ekbatan, Iliye, Even, Farmanaye, Faresht, Gitarai, Gulhak, Jisha, Gomrok, Hassanabad, Jamaran, Janet Abad, Javadiye, Jomharai, Jordan, Levizan, Miran, Narmak, Navab, Nazi-Abad, Nyavaran, Park-e-Shah, Pazdaran, Piruzi, Punak, Ray, Sautat Abad, Sadaiye, Said Kandan, Soravadi, Sharera Shari Ziba, Sharak-e-Arb, Shemaran, Tarish, Chorano, Turanpaz, Choransar, Vanak, Valyunjak, Yaft Abad, Yusuf Abad, Zafaraniye, etc. Older neighborhoods. Tehran's old city fabric changed dramatically during the Pahlavi era. Some of the older remaining districts of Tehran are Audlajan, St. George, Bazar, Chali Maidan, Daulat, Pamina. Chali Maidan is the oldest neighborhood of the aforementioned. Districts during Pahlavi era are Sepa Str, Tubkeni, Lalizar Str, and Islambol Str. Other old districts are Daushan Tarpi, Dulab, Sabzi Maidan, Said Kandan, Zarabkeni and Galabandalak. North Tehran. North Tehran is a wealthy region in Tehran. North Tehran consists of various smaller districts from northeast to northwest, such as Zafraniye District, Jordan, Elahi-Ilahi, Kamraniye, Ajaudaniye, Farmaniye, Daras, Gitariye, etc. North Tehran is known as an area of liberal Iranians who wear more moderate clothing and have more secular ideas. Shopping. Tehran has a wide range of shopping opportunities, from traditional bazaars to shopping districts and modern shopping malls. The Great Bazaar of Tehran and the Tarish Bazaar are the biggest traditional bazaars in Tehran. Shopping districts such as Valyaz, Shariati, Merdamad have shopping with a wide range of different shops. Big malls like Tiraji, Golistan, Hyperstar and smaller shopping centers like Tandis, Golistan and Safeviye are popular among Turkey Euro unregistered trademark population and visitors. Most of the international brands and upper-class shops are located in the northern and western part of the city, and the rest of the shops are distributed in all the areas of the city. Turkey Euro unregistered trademark retail business is growing with new malls and shopping centers being built. The biggest malls under construction are the Tehran Mega Mall, Kawarish Mall and Tehran Mall, and smaller Euro or luxurious Euro shopping centers like Zafaraniye or Farmaniye Shopping Center. Food and restaurants. Tehran has many modern and chic restaurants, serving both traditional Iranian and cosmopolitan cuisine. The most popular dish of the city is the shilo kebab. However, Western-style fast food is becoming popular, especially within the younger generation. Pizza, sandwich and kebab shops make up the majority of other food outlets in the city. Economy. Tehran is the economic center of Iran. About 30% of Iran's public sector workforce and 45% of large industrial firms are located in Tehran, and almost half of these workers work for the government. Most of the remainder of workers are factory workers, shopkeepers, laborers, and transport workers. Few foreign companies operate in Tehran because of the Iranian government's relations to the West. But before the Islamic Revolution, many foreign companies were active in this region. Today many modern industries of this city include the manufacturing of automobiles, electronics and electrical equipment, weaponry, textiles, sugar, cement, and chemical products. It is also a leading center for the sale of carpets and furniture. There is an oil refinery near Rhaga, south of the city. Tehran has 4 airports: Moorabad International Airport, Tehran Imam Khomeini International Airport, and Doshan Tapi Air Base. The former Gail Morai Air Base has been converted to an amusement park named Vilayat Park. Tehran relies heavily on private cars, buses, motorcycles, and taxis, and is one of the most car-dependent cities in the world. The Tehran Stock Exchange, which is a full member of the Fédération Internationale des Bourses de Valeurs and a founding member of the Federation of Euro-Asian Stock Exchanges, has been one of the world's best-performing stock exchanges in recent years. Transportation. Cars. According to the head of Tehran Municipality's Environment and Sustainable Development Office, Tehran has a capacity almost for 700,000 cars, but currently more than 3 million cars are on the roads in the capital. The automation industry has recently developed, but international sanctions influence the production processes periodically. Airport. Tehran is served by 2 main airports. Moorabad Airport, an old airport which doubles as a military base, is used for domestic and charter flights. This airport is located in the western part of the city. Tehran Imam Khomeini International Airport, located 50 kilometers south of the city, handles all scheduled international flights. Metro. Tehran claims to have one of the cleanest and most convenient metro systems, in terms of accessibility to different parts of the city, in the region. The feasibility study and conceptual planning of the construction was started in 1970s. In 2001, the first 2 of the 8 projected metro lines were opened. Now Tehran Metro has 5 operative lines and is 152 km long, with another 2 lines under construction. Train. Tehran also has a central railway station with connecting services round the clock to various cities in the country. A Tehran Europe train line is also running. Bus. Tehran's transport system includes conventional buses, trolleybuses and bus rapid transit. Buses have served the city since the 1920s. There are 4 bus terminals that also provide connections at low rates. The terminals are located on the south, east, west, and Beihai Park Drive. The trolleybus system opened in 1992, using a fleet of 65 articulated trolleybuses built by Skoda. This was the first trolleybus system in Iran and remains the country's only such system. In 2005, trolleybuses were operating on 5 routes, all starting at Maidan-e-Imam, near Imam Hossein station of the Tehran Metro Line 2. 2 routes running northeastwards operate almost entirely in a segregated busway located in the middle of the wide carriageway, stopping only at purpose-built stops located about every 500 meters, effectively making these routes trolleybus BRT. The other 3 trolleybus routes run south from Maidan-e-Imam and operate in mixed traffic. Both route sections are served both by limited stop services and local services. A 3.2-kilometer extension from Maidan-e-Shush to Maidan-e-Ra'an and the railway station there opened in March 2010. Tehran Bus Rapid Transit was officially inaugurated in 2008 by Tehran's mayor, Mohammad Baghalibaf. BRT has 3 lines with 60 stations in different areas of the city. As at 2011, BRT had a network of 100 kilometers, transporting 1.8 million passengers on a daily basis. The city has also developed a bike share system which includes 12 stations in one of Tehran's districts. Highways and streets. The metropolis of Tehran enjoys a huge network of highways and of interchanges, ramps, and loops. In 2007 there were 130 km of highways and 120 km of ramps and loops under construction. While the center of the city houses the government ministries and headquarters, the commercial centers are more located toward Valiasr Avenue, Taleghani Avenue, and Beheshti Avenue further north. Although administratively separate, Rhaga, Shemiran, and Karaj are often considered part of the larger Tehran metropolitan area. A number of streets in Tehran are names after international personalities: Henri Corbin Street downtown Tehran, Edward Brown Street near the University of Tehran, Gandhi Street northern Tehran, Muhammad Ali Jinnah Expressway Western Tehran, Iqbal Lahori Street Eastern Tehran, Patrice Lumumba Street Western Tehran, Bobby Sands Street western side of British Embassy, Sima Qubden Boulevard Street northwestern Tehran. Air pollution. Tehran suffers from severe air pollution and the city is often covered by smog, making breathing difficult and causing widespread pulmonary illnesses. It is estimated that about 27 people die each day from pollution-related diseases. According to local officials, 3,600 people died in a single month due to the hazardous air quality. 80% of the city's pollution is due to cars. The remaining 20% is due to industrial pollution. Other estimates suggest that motorcycles alone account for 30% of air and 50% of sound pollution in Tehran. In 2007, Iran imposed fuel rations, but the plan has met little success in reducing the pollution levels. In 2011, with the improvements in the public transport system and the rise in fuel prices due to the new subsidies reform plan, the government is hoping to be able to improve the problems of pollution and traffic. The air pollution is due to several different reasons. Economical. Most Iranian industries are located on the outskirts of Tehran. The city is also overrun with old and aging cars which do not meet today's emission regulations. Furthermore, Iran's busiest airport, Murabad International Airport, is located in the west of the city. Most people are then obliged to either use private cars or hire taxis. This has created severe traffic congestion. Gasoline quality. Due to international sanctions, the Iranian government allowed its refineries to manufacture subpar gasoline. Geographical. Tehran is bound in the north by the massive Alborz mountain range that is stopping the flow of the humid Caspian wind. As a result, thermal inversion that traps Tehran's polluted air is frequently observed. The lack of humidity and clouds makes Tehran a very sunny city. The UV radiations then combined with the existing pollutants significantly raise the level of the ozone. In fact, one of the urban landmarks in central Tehran is a giant air quality gauge. Furthermore, the reportedly poor quality of Iranian-manufactured gasoline may also be contributing to the pollution. However, the government is engaged in a battle to reduce air pollution. It has, for instance, encouraged taxis and buses to convert from petrol engines to engines that run on compressed natural gas. Furthermore, since 1979 the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran has set up a traffic zone covering the city center during peak traffic hours. Entering and driving inside this zone is only allowed with a special permit. The government is also trying to raise people's awareness about the hazards of the pollution. One method that is currently being employed is the installation of pollution indicator boards all around the city to monitor the current level of particulate matter, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, sulfur dioxide, and carbon monoxide. The board also displays the Pollutant Standards Index, which is a general indication of air quality based on the measurements of the above-mentioned 5 pollutants. The pollution indicator boards classify the level of each pollutant as either safe, hazardous or dangerous. Education and research. Tehran is the largest and most important educational center of Iran. Today there are a total of nearly 50 major colleges and universities in Greater Tehran. Since the establishment of Darul Fanoon in the mid-19th century, Tehran has amassed a large number of institutions of higher education. Some of these institutions have played crucial roles in the unfolding of Iranian political events. Samuel M. Jordan, whom Jordan Avenue in Tehran was named after, was also one of the founding pioneers of the American College of Tehran. Among major educational institutions located in Tehran, University of Tehran, Tehran University of Medical Sciences, Sharif University of Technology are the most prestigious universities of Iran. University of Tehran is also the oldest university in Iran and one of the oldest in Central and South Asia. Alami Tabatabanari University, Amakabia University of Technology, Shahid Beheshti University, Khwarazmi University, KN Tusi University of Technology, Iran University of Science and Technology, Iran University of Medical Sciences, Islamic Azad University, Iran Polymer and Petrochemical Institute, Shahid University and Tabiat Modarz University are other highly ranked universities of Iran located in Tehran. Tehran is also home to Iran's largest military academy, and several religious schools and seminaries. Notable high schools in the city include one Nodet, which has two parts, one for girls, and one for boys. Sports. Tehran was the first city in the Middle East to host the Asian Games. The 7th Asian Summer Games in 1974, was held with the participation of 2,363 athletes and officials from 25 countries. Tehran is also the site of Iran's national football stadium on Azadi Sport Complex with 100,000 seating capacity. Azadi Football Stadium is one of the largest in Western Asia and one of the biggest in the world. Many of the top matches of Iran's Premier League are held here. In 2005, FIFA ordered Iran to limit spectators allowed into Azadi Stadium because of a fatal crash and inadequate safety procedures. Other stadiums in Tehran are Shahid Dastgadi Stadium, Takhtai Stadium, and Shahid Shirudi Stadium, among others. The ski resort of Dizin is situated to the north of Tehran in the Alborz Mountains. Tokal Ski Resort is the world's 5th highest ski resort, at over 3,730 meters at its highest 7th station. The resort was completed in 1976, shortly before the overthrowing of the Shah. Here, one must first ride the 8-kilometer-long gondola lift, which covers a huge vertical and is probably the longest line in the world. The 7th station has 3 slopes. The resort's longest slope is the south side U-shaped slope, which goes from the 7th station to 5th station. The other 2 slopes are located on the north side of the 7th station. Here, there are 2 parallel chair ski lifts that go up to 3,900 meters near Tokal's peak, rising higher than the gondola 7th station. This altitude is higher than any of the European resorts. From the Tokal peak, one has a spectacular view of the Alborz range, including the 5,610 meters high Mount Damov and, a dormant volcano. At the bottom of the lifts in a valley behind the Tokal peak is Tokal Hotel, located at 3,500 meters altitude. From there a T-lift takes skiers up the 3,800 meters of Sharnishin Peak, where the 3rd slope of Tokal is. Tokal's 7th station has skiing 8 months of the year. But there are also some glaciers and year-round snowfields near Tehran where skiing began in 1938, thanks to the efforts of 2 German railway engineers. Today, 12 ski resorts operate in Iran, but the most famous are Tokal, Dizin, and Shemshak, all within 1 to 3 hours of Tehran. Football. Tehran is the host of 4 major football clubs in the Iran Pro League, namely, Tehran is also host to many small clubs. Main attractions. Tehran is a relatively old city. As such, it has an architectural tradition unique to itself. Archaeological investigations and excavations in Tehran demonstrate that this area was home to civilizations as far back as 6,000 years BC in the village of Rhaga, which is now incorporated into the city. Tehran served only as a village to a relatively small population for most of its history, but began to take a more considerable role in Iran after it was made the capital in the late 18th century. Despite the occurrence of earthquakes during the Qajar period and before, some buildings still remain from Tehran's era of antiquity. Today Tehran is Iran's primate city, and is the most modernized infrastructure in the country. However, the gentrification of old neighborhoods and the demolition of buildings of cultural significance has caused concerns. The Azadi Tower has been the long-standing symbol of Tehran. It was constructed to commemorate the 2500th anniversary of the Persian Empire, and was originally named Shayyad Tower. After the Iranian Revolution, its name changed to Azadi Tower, meaning Freedom Tower. The recently constructed Milad Tower may eventually replace the Azadi Tower as Tehran's new symbol. The Milad complex contains the world's 6th tallest tower, several restaurants, a 5-star hotel, a convention center, a World Trade Center, and an IT park. Traditionally a low-rise city due to seismic activity in the region, modern high-rise developments in Tehran have been undertaken in order to service its growing population. There have been no major quakes in Tehran since 1830. The tallest residential building in Iran is a 54-story building located north of Yusuf Abad district, the Tehran International Tower. It is architecturally similar to Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip in the Paradise community of Clark County, Nevada, United States. Appealing to the principle of vertical rather than horizontal expansion of the city, the Tehran International Tower is bound to the north by Yusuf Abad, to the south by Hakim Highway, to the east by Kurdistan Highway and to the west by Sheikh Bahai Highway, all of which facilitate access to various parts of the city. Tourism and attractions. Tehran, as Iran's showcase and capital city, has a wealth of cultural attractions. The Sun Throne of the Persian kings can be found in Tehran's Golestan Palace. Some of the well-known museums are National Museum of Iran, Saidabad Palaces Complex, Glassware and Ceramics Museum of Iran, the Carpet Museum of Iran, Tehran's Underglass Painting Museum, Nayavaran Palace Complex, and Safar Office Machines Museum. The Tehran Museum of Contemporary Art features works of famous artists such as Van Gogh, Pablo Picasso and Andy Warhol. The collection of these paintings was selected by former Empress Farah Diba. Tehran is also home to the Iranian Imperial Crown Jewels, also called the Imperial Crown Jewels of Persia. It is claimed to be the largest, most dazzling and valuable jewel collection in the world. The collection comprises a set of crowns and thrones, some 30 tiaras, numerous aigrettes, jewel-studded swords and shields, a vast amount of precious loose gems, including the largest collections of emeralds, rubies and diamonds in the world. It also includes other items collected by the Shahs of Iran during the 2,500-year existence of the Iranian kingdom. The imperial crown jewels are still on display in the Iranian Central Bank in Tehran. Tehran International Book Fair is known to the international publishing world as one of the most important publishing events in Asia. Recreation. The most popular social activity, especially among the younger generation, is cinema. Most cinema theaters are located downtown. The Azadi cinema was inaugurated in 2008. It is the largest cinema complex in Tehran with 10 theaters. The Cinema Farhang in the north is the only official theater that plays foreign films in Tehran. The Tehran Zoological Garden and Iran City Game are also popular meeting points, especially for families with children. A new larger zoo is planned for 2010. Artists often mingle at the House of Artists. Theatre Shah was opened in 1962. It is the largest theatre in Tehran. Tehran TV1, Tehran Cinema TV, Omid TV and Tehran Show TV are among the most popular TV stations in Tehran. Tehran TV2, Tehran TV3 and Tehran Sport are planned to be launched in 2012. The following table shows some places for outdoors activities in Tehran. Religious centers. There are many religious centers scattered around the city from old to newly built centers. There are mosques, churches, and synagogues where followers of these religions can practice their faith. The Friday prayer in Tehran is usually hosted by University of Tehran, which is led by a Friday prayer leader and on special occasions by the Supreme Leader of Iran. Hundreds of thousands of people participate in the prayers, during which the city of Tehran comes to a standstill. Graffiti. Many styles of graffiti are seen in Tehran. Many are slogans painted by governmental organizations. In recent years, Tehran municipality has been using graffiti in order to beautify the city. Events. The 7th Asian Games were held from September 1, 1974 to September 16, 1974 in Tehran, Iran. The Azadi Sports Complex was made for the Games. The Asian Games were hosted in West Asia for the first time. Tehran, the capital of Iran, played host to 3,010 athletes coming from 25 countries NOCs, the highest number of participants since the inception of the Games. The 1976 AFC Asian Cup was the 6th edition of the Asian Nations Cup, the football championship of Asia. It was hosted by Iran. The field of 6 teams was split into 2 groups of 3. Iran won their 3rd title in a row, beating Kuwait in the final 1-0. The first West Asian Games was first organized in Tehran from 19 to November 28, 1997. It was considered the first of their kind. The success of the Games led to the creation of the West Asian Games Federation and the intention of hosting the Games every 2 years. Sister cities, Tehran has also signed mutual cooperation and understanding with a number of cities including Baghdad, Kabul, Paris, Milan and St. Petersburg. See also: City Council of Tehran, International Rankings of Iran, Iran International Exhibitions Company, References. External links: Google Map, Tehran, Tehran Municipality website, Tehran Geographic Information Center, Tehran Traffic Control Center, Official Tehran Yellow Pages, Tehran Travel Guide from Wiki Voyage, Chiran Images. Contemporary photos taken in some of the oldest districts of Tehran. Videos: Tehran's Detailed Development Plan Press TV, Tehran Today a Euro Part I Part 2 Part 3 Press TV, Modernized Iranian Architecture in Tehran Press TV, Tehran's Hazardous Air Quality Press TV.